All right, have and have not fans. Now we're coming out with another extension of the video I did about is Oscar still relevant to the story of the haves and the have-nots. Just theorizing out loud as to if he were to actually die, would it really matter? Because as a living character, has his storyline pretty much reached the end of its rope? And in that video, I pretty much branched off videos about, will Erica betray David? But I really went in on this subject, not even thinking about it when I was writing the script for it, because in that video, I talked about, how David and Jim have really lost everything, or on the cusp of losing everything. And in the video, I talked about the possibility of, if Oscar is dead, then they've lost a major resource in terms of information, because he literally was their eyes and ears for everything they needed. Just like Maggie Day was kind of like the Oscar of season 2 in terms of the political arena that they were in, trying to win the governor's mansion. And then we also have them losing the assistance of the Malone family, because they were kind of like the hired muscle. So in a way, those guys literally started off the series with the muscle when needed through the Malones, the political expert in terms of Maggie Day to get to where they want to go in terms of politics. Not to mention Oscar, when he came into the scene, he was able to recover any assets that were taken from them, as well as offer plenty of helpful information on potential enemies or people they want to have sex with. Now, when it comes down to their loss of resources, a lot of it comes down to their wives, the spouses as well, because I made the comparison of, if Erica were to take David for everything he's got, like literally wiped his accounts clean, he would be screwed, because he would most likely lose the house due to not being able to pay for it. Or on the other hand, you have Veronica, who will most likely destroy the house. I mean, because we know how much she loves a good fire. So theoretically speaking, if you look at it from that way, you have a young female, Erica, taking him for everything he's got. And then you had his spouse destroying the house. Then you switch over to Jim, who Candace now has his account numbers, is most likely going to take all the money from his account that Catherine put in there, which is about $10 million. And then remember that his spouse, Catherine, destroyed their house. So at the end of the day, I could possibly see it that David and Jim will both lose everything. Like literally everything but their lives. And it goes back to what Catherine told Jim back in season 3, when Wyatt was in the backyard talking with Jennifer Salison and one of the detectives from the police station about the whole hit and run thing. He was confessing. And this was when Jim and Catherine were both inside of Amanda's room, just seeing if there was any kind of indication or clues as to, why and how she, got killed. And Catherine made note of the fact that I noticed $7.4 million was taken out of our account. Care to elaborate? And he said no. And he's like, okay. She was like, okay, that's our divorce settlement. Like, I want a divorce. Like, you'll be able to walk out of here with the clothes on your back and your life. And he's like, that's fair. And even though that line didn't hold up in this current season, because when Catherine was talking about divorce and literally isolated their assets, Jim wasn't going to have it. So it is interesting that if Tyler Perry indeed wrote the story to work that way, with a throwaway line from season 3 being relevant to both David and Jim, bravo, because these guys literally need any sort of assistance they can get, because it looks like Wyatt is going to make things even worse in terms of the Cryer and Malone relationship, because remember that, oh, sorry about that, my chair creaked. Remember that David and Jim are trying to get back on Mama Rose's good side, hopefully through Mitch, her grandson, who is friends with Hannah's son, Benny. But Wyatt seems to, I believe in this upcoming episode, is either going to steal drugs from Vinny Malone, who is Mitch's uncle. And then there might get into some kind of fight, because we do see Wyatt a bit banged up. And then Jim even goes further in the trailer to say that, if the Malones find him, they will most likely kill him. So that's going to make things even worse for Jim. So it goes without saying that Jim and David, again, I just named a few. I'm not even getting into the whole Jeffrey situation, but it seems like these guys are definitely on the cusp of losing everything. Remember back in season 1, where it was almost like they can do no wrong, so to speak, in terms of their plans and execution. Jim's horniness towards Candace was really the major obstacle that sent them on this spiraling descent that they've been on since the end of season 1. They can execute a plan like, hey, I'll handle it. Let's cover up a hit and run. Let's cover up a murder of Jennifer Salison, and the list goes on. But oh my God, I mean, heck, if I'm not mistaken, they still haven't sat down and talked about how to cover up the Jennifer Salison murder. And guys, man, I literally don't even know what to say. They literally are screwed. So if there's any beam of hope, then I sure as heck must have my sunglasses on because I can't see it. But yeah, let me know in the comment section below. Do you think that Jim and David are on the cusp of losing everything they have? I mean, not just material wise, but talking about friends, allies, resources. I can't think of anything that these two have except for their tenacity. But yeah, please subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I'll talk to you in a future video.